Okay, so I did a brick chopping video a couple days ago that was inspired by Nate. And I also want to do some knife chopping or nail chopping, nail not nail chopping, but nail cutting. And this morning I woke up and on my Facebook feed, Nate the Machinist had a video about him testing 3V with nails. So it inspired me to actually do mine and actually record it, because a lot of times I do stuff and I don't record it. So what I'm going to do is just quickly go through the knives. It's not going to be as scientific as Nate. I haven't sharpened these two knives since I did the brick test, but the area in red are places that are pretty sharp, pretty damn close in geometry between the three, and that's where I'm going to do the nail testing. These are about 1/8 inch diameter nails. You can tell they're pretty old because they're made in made in the United States, American made, and they were 79 cents a box. These are from Grandpappy. So what I'm going to do is I'll set the camera down. I'll test each knife. I'll do it twice right next to each other, and then I'll look at the damage with my hand behind it. So Z-wear chopper, it's 60, it's about 60 and a half. I made all these knives. One of the things that I've been kind of looking at back and forth between myself is this CPM3V, this is Z-wear, is whether I'm going to get better performance, general performance out of a 3V higher in its Rockwell. So like higher, like a 61 is near the top of where you'd want to heat treat 3V. 60 on Z-wear is more near the bottom. And they have similar qualities, but would it be better to have a steel that's, again, treated a little higher in its Rockwell, a little near its peak, or one that's lower? So that's somewhat of the test. Again, safety glasses, always do that. So without further ado, I'm going to do the first one on the right side and the second one on the left. My cat's over there fucking around, and hopefully she doesn't get smacked with a nail, but that's her fault.
Alright. There's one.
You can see that.
We'll go slightly to...
Well, you could hear that. Okay. I'm going to kind of clean the edge. And this was the first one, you can see it, and this was the second one, I think. The second one has some, you can kind of see it right there. It's a dent. It's like this one right here, it's pushed a little bit, but the edge is still there. Okay. So that was Z-wear 61, or about 60 Rockwell. This CPM3V 61 Rockwell, so this is higher in its hardness range. Now, you know, when someone, a knife maker, whoever, is willing to kind of go on video and really test some of their stuff, regardless of whether you agree or disagree with the test, I think it is important to respect it. Oh yeah, okay. So there I got a pretty nice dent. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is 3V at 61. Next, this is Z-wear 60 and a half, so this is lower. Wow. I don't think I'm going to be able to find that nail, so I'm just going to grab a new one. Wow. This held up really good. There's like literally no deformation. So, I'm going to cut 2 more because I don't know, we'll see. Alright, there's another one, and that went flying. Oop. Wow. Again. I'm just super impressed. I'm going to go back and do another one on this 3V at the end just to see, maybe I might have been cocking it. I'm going to do, you know what, I'm going to do another one with it right away. So this is at 3V 61. I'm going to go back at the bottom of this mark. Yeah, that fared really well too. So I wonder if I was torquing it a little bit. I'm going to do another one. These nails are just flying all over the place. Yeah, this held up really good, so I'm assuming that I was kind of putting some side load on it. Alright, last but not least, I'll do the big chopper. This is with the newer heat treat that kind of keeps the chromium from becoming carbides, and this has extremely good corrosion resistance compared to all the other steels. I mean, these were basically treated with the same, this is a little older, but treated in the same conditions. Shit. It's kind of long. Okay, here we go. Nothing. I think I actually hit the tip first. We'll do another one. Yeah, held up really good too. None of these, well, let's see. Oh yeah, that's actual particles from the nail. None of these edges are anywhere near as thin as Nate the Machinist edges in the videos where he tests. So if you do see more damage, don't be like, oh, why is this? Because he grinds his stuff a lot thinner than I am. Yeah, all 3 of these knives I made. I made all these micartas, in this shop. So for what they are, and I think they hold up great. They cut great, and that necessarily wasn't a test of each steel versus each steel, but just an example of that each one of those went through at least 2 nails. So very minor damage. I think on this 3V, I probably had it cocked and wasn't really paying attention. When I look at the video, I'll see. What I'm going to do is in the link, I'm going to put a couple knife makers that do destruction tests along with their websites, and I'll put links to their videos. All right, thanks again. All right, a couple things that this whole test taught me right now. This is about 5 minutes after. I'm thinking, wow, this knife cut through, this knife right here cut through probably 2 bricks and 3 cinder blocks and 4 nails. And the edge really, it's dull, but what this taught me is, that's way harder than I'm ever going to run this knife. So I'm going to grind it thinner. Once I get my grinder, I'm probably going to take this and thin it out and perform the same test and see if the damage is about the same, or how thin I can go. And I guess that's part of the thing I'm learning is actually trying to take these tests and learn from them. I'm going to see if I can straighten out that dent a little bit. Oh, here we go. Here's something interesting. All right, so I just tried to straighten out this dent. So that was a nice chip. But you know what? This is 61 Rockwell. This is what I'm learning. So it's kind of interesting though. Well, that's a big chip. But again, this is pretty hard stuff. So, you're always learning. Okay, you just saw that chip, but I kind of want to go over a couple things real quick because just for some clarification. These two knives, Z-wear, 60.5 Rockwell, lower in their hardness range with the tough heat treat from Peter's Heat Treat. This was the standard toughness CPM3V, similar to the one I would assume Nate's Control, that I had requested hardened at 61 or above. Okay? This is the newer heat treat at about, and I believe it comes out between 60 61 with so I would assume it's similar to the newer one, the newer heat treat. Okay, so just to clarify that. And another thing I want to say is before you go judging this knife, you got to understand that I've flexed the shit out of this knife, like in trees. I'm not going to do it like nasty right now, but this thing has gone through a lot of stuff. I've flexed it at least to 30 degrees before. So don't look at this chip and be like, oh my God, because you got to realize that this whole entire edge, this knife has been like worked the fuck over already, okay? So just keep that in mind.